everyone, welcome to Krishna's online lectures. In this video, I am going to discuss some formulas of moment of inertia for different sections like rectangular section, circular, triangular section, etc. So let's start the lesson. So as I've discussed about moment of inertia. So moment of inertia for any arbitrary plane, we generally define with respect to axis. Here, if we are considering two axes, x-axis and y-axis, and if we want to define the moment of inertia of this plane, lamina, which is having area A, so we need to define the moment of inertia about x-axis and about the y-axis. And for that, we need to define the centroid position or the point where total area of the plane is concentrated. And if we are considering mass, so the point where total mass of this plane is concentrated. So that point we can consider as the centroid or center of gravity, or the point where area and mass is concentrated. And we need to define the position of that particular point with respect to these two axes in terms of coordinates. So if we are considering that point distance from y-axis is x and from x-axis is y, so here G we will consider as xy. This is representing the coordinate of that particular point. And if we want to define the moment of inertia about one axis, for example x-axis or x-axis, so it will be defined as the product of area and square of the perpendicular distance. So from x-axis we have distance y, so it will be ay square. Similarly, if we want to define the moment of inertia about y-axis or y-axis, so it will same the product of area and perpendicular distance, so it will be ax square. So with respect to two axes, x and y axis, we can define this ixx and iyy, that is representing the moment of inertia. And according to perpendicular axis theorem, we know this particular equation izz equals to ixx plus iyy. So here this izz is representing the moment of inertia about third axis, that is z-axis, and this particular axis should be perpendicular to x-axis and y-axis, also perpendicular to this plane lamina. So this third axis we are considering zz axis, and this axis should pass through the origin where this x-axis and y-axis is passing. So the intersection point of all three axes should be same, or origin point. So this izz will be the summation of moment of inertia about x-axis and moment of inertia about y-axis. So this is called polar moment of inertia. We can write down this as polar moment of inertia. So this is the concept of moment of inertia. Now this particular plane is arbitrary shaped plane. Here we don't know the symmetrical axis, or we don't know the exact shape of this particular plane. So we cannot define the symmetry of the plane or symmetry of the object. But if we know some section which are symmetrical, or we can take sections like rectangular section, circular section, triangular section, elliptical section. So these sections we can define in terms of symmetry. So here during numerical, or when we solve numerical, if we know the direct value or direct formula of moment of inertia, so it will be better. It will save your time, as well as you don't need to find out the complete formula. So here I am going to discuss some formulas which is defining the moment of inertia of different section or number of sections. In this category, I am going to define the formula of moment of inertia of rectangular section. So here we have a rectangle. So there are two dimensions we are considering in rectangle. One is the width and other is the depth. So according to these two dimensions, we can define the exact formula or exact value of moment of inertia about both the axes, about x-axis and about y-axis. And if we are defining the moment of inertia about third axis, that is z-axis, so it will be polar moment of inertia. So for that we need these two values only. So third value izz we can define as the summation of these two ixx and iyy. So here first we need to define the symmetry of this particular plane, as well as the position of centroid of this plane. If we are considering this as the plane, so we need to define the position of centroid. Now we know the position of centroid we can define at half of the dimension. If we are considering D, so it should be at D by 2, and if it is B, so it should be at B by 2. So at the center of this particular rectangle, we can define the position of G. So this is about rectangular section. So this particular thing I already explained in one of the lesson of centroid. So here we have the position of G, and we should know these dimension, width and depth. Now, if we want to define the moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis, so there are two direct formula. We have Ixx, that is moment of inertia about x-axis, we can define as b dq by 12. And we know the unit of moment of inertia we generally define as fourth power of length or fourth power of dimension. So here we are considering, let us consider D is in meter and B is also in meter. So the unit will be meter to the power 4. So here we can check this term. So B will be in meter and D is the meter cube. So here meter to the power 4 we can consider as the unit. So this particular formula Ixx is representing BDQ by 12. This formula you need to learn to solve numerical related to moment of inertia. If you have direct plane or if you know the exact shape of the plane, if you have rectangle in the plane, so you can directly apply this formula to define the moment of inertia about x-axis. Similarly, if we are considering y-y axis, so this formula will be dbq by 12. So you need to remember these two formula. It will save your time. Now, second condition is hollow rectangular section. So here hollow rectangular section consists two rectangles. Here one is the internal and other is the external rectangle. So here we are considering two dimensions. One is the width for internal rectangle and small d is representing the depth of this particular internal rectangle. This part is hollow. Now another one is bigger rectangle or external rectangle. So it has capital D as depth and capital B as width. So here we will have to apply the same concept. We know how to define the position of G for the rectangular section. So we will define the position of G at B by 2 or D by 2, or for external rectangle we can consider B by 2 or D by 2. So by this way we can define the position of G. Now here if we want to define the moment of inertia about x-axis, so this concept we will apply BDQ. But here we have two different rectangles. So this Ixx will be BDQ minus BDQ by 12. So capital B, capital DQ minus small b, small dq by 12. And similarly Iyy, that is moment of inertia about yy axis. So it will be same. So dbq minus small dbq by 12. So these are the formula we can use for hollow rectangular section. Now third section is triangular section. So triangular section, if we have this triangle, so it should have two dimension. One is the base and another is the height of the triangle. And we know how to define the position of centroid for this particular triangle. We consider at h by 3 distance. H is the height. So at h by 3 distance in the mid, we define the position of centroid. And we can define the moment of inertia for this triangle about x-axis and y-y axis. For x-axis, we have this formula bhq by 36, where b is the base and h is the height. It is height. Now, let us consider y-y axis. So, about this y-y axis, we can define as bhq by 12. So, here I am not going to define complete derivation for these formula. You have to remember only these formula for these kinds of section or for these kind of symmetrical. Now next section is circular section. So we know circle has radius or diameter. So here either we can consider diameter as a dimension or the radius as a dimension. So first we need to define the position of centroid. So this center of the circle we always consider as the centroid position, because radius at each and every point of the circle is same or diameter is same. So the center of the circle we consider as the centroid. Now if we want to define the moment of inertia about x-axis and y-y axis, so this x-axis and y-y axis will also intersect at this particular center or at this centroid point. So Ixx we can define as pi d to the power 64. So this is the formula. We can convert this into r to the power 4 term also. So Ixx will be pi d to the power 4 by 64, where d is the diameter. Now similarly, if we want to define the moment of inertia about y-axis, so diameter will be same in each and every direction. So Iyy will also pi d to the power 4 by 64. So for both terms, value or the formula is same for circular section. Now if we want to define the polar moment of inertia for this, so as I told you, polar moment of inertia we define by the perpendicular axis theorem. So it is Izz, it is equals to Ixx plus Iyy. So here we will do pi d to the power 4 by 64 plus pi d to the power 4 64. So we'll get this term. So polar moment of inertia for circular section will be pi d to the power 4 by 32. So this is about circular section. Now here in this category, I'm going to take another section, that is hollow circular section. So similar to rectangular section, here we have two circles. One is the internal circle and another is the external circle or outside circle. So here internal circle or inside circle is having diameter di. Here it is given, this diameter is di and outside diameter is do. So this is representing the internal and this is do is representing the outside diameter. So we will apply same concept here. So Ixx that will be equals to Iyy, because diameter will be same at each and every point. So it will be equals to pi do to the power 4 minus di to the power 4 by 64. So this is the formula for hollow circular section. And if we want to define the polar moment of inertia, so in this formula we will change this value d to the power 4 value in terms of outside diameter and inside diameter. So do to the power 4 minus di to the power 4 by 32. So this is the formula for polar moment of inertia. Polar moment of inertia. Now here, if we want to define the moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis for semicircular section. So this is our semicircular section and here we have diameter. This is the diameter of this section and one more dimension we are considering, that is the radius of this particular semicircle. And here we need to define the position of this centroid G. So this position we generally define in upward direction from the base of the semicircle at distance 4r by 3 pi. So this 4r by 3 pi is representing the exact location of G from the center of the base in upward direction. So in upward direction at 4r by 3 pi distance, we will define the position of G. Now we have the position of G, so we can define the value of moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis. So Ixx will be 0.11 r to the power 4. This is the direct formula. And Iyy is pi r to the power 4 by 8. This is the direct formula for semicircular section. Similarly, we want to define the quarter circular section. So quarter circular section we cannot consider as the symmetrical section. So this G can be outside or it can be at the surface of this particular plane. So first we need to define the position of G at 4r by 3 pi distance, and after that about x-axis and y-axis we will define the value of moment of inertia. So it will be Ixx, that is equals to Iyy. For this quarter circular section, these two values will be same. So it will be equals to 0.055 r to the power 4. Now next is ellipse. So as we know, in ellipse we consider two axes. One is the major axis and another is the minor axis. So accordingly we will define the dimension. So here if we are considering major dimension as A, which is along the x-axis, and minor dimension as B, which is along the y-axis. So with the help of these two dimensions A and B, we will define the value of moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis. So Ixx will be pi abq by 4 and Iyy will be pi baq by 4. So these are the formula to define the moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis for ellipse. And if we want to define Izz, so it should be Ixx plus Iyy. yy. So according to this formula, we can define the polar moment of inertia for ellipse also. So these are some formulas which is defining the moment of inertia of different section with respect to different axis. And these formula you can use directly to solve numerical if you have these shapes or these section. But if you have any arbitrary shape which is not symmetrical, so what you need to do, first you need to divide that arbitrary shape into number of section, and each section should be symmetric, and we need to define the moment of inertia for each and every section, and after that we will do the summation of all moment of inertia and we will get the final value of moment of inertia for this arbitrary section. So this is all about the different formulas of moment of inertia for different planes or different sections. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can rate, review and share this lesson with your friends and your known people. And if you want to watch more lessons related to mechanical engineering, please subscribe the channel.